Speaking of tamers, in a somewhat sinister antique shop, a visibly terrified guy named Peter arrives, carrying a little toy monkey, one of those that bang cymbals or drums. In this case, his clothes are stained with blood. But when the store owner asks, Peter swears that the blood is not his. He wants to return the monkey, but the store owner points to a sign that says, "We do not accept returns of children's toys." Peter insists, saying that it is not a simple toy, and that misfortunes happen when the cymbals or drums are banged. To prove his point, the monkey comes to life right there and starts playing its sinister music, leaving the two men with their hair standing on end. It suddenly stops, and for a moment, nothing happens. The calm lasts a short time. Arat appears and laughs. By incredible bad luck, it holds a harpoon. The gun fires, piercing the store owner. To make matters worse, the mechanism retracts, pulling the poor man's entrails with it. Peter, in total panic, grabs a flamethrower and tries to incinerate the cursed toy. While this bizarre scene happens, we meet the twin brothers, A and Bill. Their relationship is bad. She can't stand the fact that Bill was born 3 minutes early and uses this as an excuse to always belittle him and bully him. They live with their mother, Lise. Since their father disappeared years ago for a reason they don't know. One day, while going through their father's things, they find a uniform that matches Peter's description from the antique shop. They also find mysterious box containing, guess what, the same cursed monkey. The law also contains a note that says something like, "Turn the key and see what happens." Bill, impulsive as always, doesn't think twice and winds up the toy. The monkey gives a macabre smile and lifts the stools, but doesn't play. The next day, the mother arranges a date and tells the boys to go out with the nanny. They arrive at a restaurant where the boss juggles knives in front of them, much to the joy of the boys. Outside, in the car, the monkey moves on its own. Out of nowhere, he starts playing his drum and suddenly stops inside the restaurant. In the middle of his show, the boss loses control of the knife and accidentally hits the nanny. Her head rolls across the floor, much to everyone's horror. Now I'm scared too. And the nanny's funeral is just it serves to show how this traumatic event further separated the two brothers, H and Bill. Afterwards, the mother tries to talk to them, saying that life is unpredictable and that death comes to everyone. Trying to relieve the attention, the three end up dancing together at home. Despite the tragedy, he confesses that that day was the happiest day of his life. Well, I think it's because he danced and life goes on. More or less, he's in class when Donada sees the monkey inside his backpack. His classmates notice and make fun of him, accusing him of doing indecent things with the doll. Later in physical education, Bill and his group of bullies humiliate him by rubbing bananas on him. Arriving home furious, Al finds the monkey in his bed. He blames the doll for everything bad that's happening. In a fit of rage against his brother, Al declares that he hates Bill. He wishes Bill would die. At that moment, he turns the monkey wrench. Coincidentally, Bill arrives home just as the monkey starts to play. Bill finds his mother in the kitchen baking something. Suddenly, blood gushes from her face and she falls dead on the floor. The medical report says, very rare boomerang aneurysm, something that happens to 1 in 40 million people. But the truth is that it was the cursed monkey killing him because of his wish after the funeral. The boys are adopted by their uncles Ida and Chip, who do their best to cheer them up that night, mulling over everything when they decide they need to get rid of the dollance. And for all, he starts to dismantle the monkey and is horrified to see real blood running down the pieces even. So he doesn't stop cutting and breaking the toy mercilessly until it is reduced to pieces the next day. The uncles take the boys to a new house, far away, but the peace doesn't last long that night. Bill sees something through the window. When he investigates, he comes face to face with the sinister monkey in one piece. Again outside, B accuses something of having brought the doll. But when he denies, Ite explaining desperately how it destroyed it, he claims that the doll is cursed and was responsible for the deaths of the nanny and the mother. Hearing this, Bill begins to wonder if the curse kills someone close to whoever turns the key and not necessarily the person who activated. Maybe it was the mother who turned the key before dying. Eaton B. Doubt, and maybe by guilt he decides to turn the key again. Despite the protests of the result, Uncle Chip, who was hunting in the forest, is found dead, trampled by 67 horses while still inside the sleeping bag. After this tragedy, the twins finally understand the gravity of the situation and that the monkey is behind everything. Knowing that destroying it is useless, they try to choose to contain it, lock the monkey firmly in the original box, and throw it in an abandoned well, praying that the nightmare is over. Then 25 years pass. Aunt Ida, now old, is sleeping when she wakes up with strange noises, armed. She goes down to investigate, but finds nothing when she goes back. Up the stairs, the steps give way under her feet. Sharp hooks that were there, a bizarre trap, lock themselves in her face. With great pain, she manages to remove them and tries to disinfect the wounds with alcohol. At that moment, a strong smell of gas fills the house. She goes to the kitchen, and when she brings her face close to the stove to check the leak, the fire turns on automatically. The alcohol on her face and hair instantly combusts into flames. Ida runs desperately out of the house, only to be impaled by the pointy support of a roadside sign. Far from there, their now adult lives a simple life working at the supermarket. He asks his boss to leave early, explaining that it is the only week of the year he has to see his and Peter. The boss makes an unpleasant comment about A's ex-wife, but A corrects him, saying that the current situation was his choice. A goes to get Peter and meets his ex-wife and her new boyfriend, Ted. The atmosphere is tense. They accuse A of being absent from his son's life. Ted informs her that he intends to adopt Peter, or who would ask A to see him. The argument heats up but is interrupted by Peter's arrival. Meanwhile, in another place, a boy named Rick is at a garage sale and finds a certain toy monkey. When he touches the doll, Rick has visions of his father, who has been missing 4 years without a trace. Later, he shows the monkey to his mother, saying that the monkey reminds him of his father. It is clear that Rick is desperate for any clue as to his father's whereabouts. A and Peter are staying at the hotel. The relationship between father and son is distant. Peter is doing a school project on the family tree and asks about A's family, saying he is the only child, and becomes visibly uncomfortable when talking about his deceased mother. Around midnight, the phone rings. It's Bill, who A hasn't spoken to in almost 5 years and hasn't seen in 10 years. A leaves the room to answer the phone. He informs A about Aunt Ida's death and asks Al to go to her house to check if the monkey is there. A gets irritated, not wanting to waste his precious time with Peter. While he processes the news, he sees a woman about to get into the motel pool. He notices an old, broken air conditioning compressor on the roof, about to fall into the water. He tries to warn the woman, but it's too late. She gets into the pool. The compressor falls and causes an explosion. He punches the woman, tearing her to pieces. A realizes in horror that the monkey has returned. He wakes Peter up in a hurry, saying that he needs to leave immediately in the car. He explains that Aunt Ida has died and that they need to go to her house to resolve pending matters. The next morning, Peter arrives at A's house. Ida and are greeted by Barbara, Thurl estate agent. She mentions that A's brother called to warn of their arrival, which shocks Peter when he discovers his father's lie. Barbara takes them inside, commenting that since Ida's death, Fesity has become chaos with a wave of bizarre accidents and horrible deaths, each one more absurd than the last. Shortly after, Barbara tries to open the stuck door of a closet when she feels that something bad is going to happen. The door finally opens, revealing an old gun that falls to the floor and fires, killing Barbara instantly. The police arrive. An officer questions her and warns her not to leave the city until the case is solved. While the paramedics remove Barbara's body, when she sees a group of cheerleaders and students outside celebrating something, perhaps a school event, inside the house, she desperately searches for the monkey but cannot find it. Frustrated, he gets the old city phone book and finds a number registered as Mrs. Monkey. He calls to his surprise. The voice on the answering machine is Bill's, saying that if anyone called because of the ad, he has already found the toy monkey and does not need it anymore. Help R finally understands. Bill has the monkey orchestrated. the recent deaths and lured it there on purpose. A flashback reveals what happened 25 years ago after the young people threw the monkey into the well. Bill discovered that it was Al who turned the key that caused the death of their mother, driven by the desire for revenge. Bill returned to the well to retrieve the monkey, but it had disappeared, leaving only the key. So Bill believed that the toy would return and waited patiently. As an adult, B finds a fortune cookie with the message, "Turn the key and see what happens." This rekindles his obsession. He starts seeing the cursed monkey everywhere, which drives him to the brink of madness. Desperate, he publishes an ad in the newspaper looking for the toy back in the present. Bill turns the monkey key, hoping that this time he will kill. Instead, the monkey causes the death of the boss, of the one from the supermarket, who slowly choked on his own cigarette. At that moment, Rick, the boy from the garage sale, appears at Bill's house, nervous, and mentions having seen Bill's brother Al and how they look alike. Rick wants to return the money and maybe Bill paid him for it. Monkey hopes to keep the toy, explaining that it reminds him of his father. Bill angrily throws him out in a rude manner. Rick returns home, puts on his missing father's police uniform, grabs a gun, and decides to take the monkey by force somewhere else. R and Peter are back at the motel. He furiously calls Bill, saying that he knows everything. Bill doesn't deny it and makes a cruel demand. He must take Peter to him so that the boy turns the key. Bill believes in the theory that whoever turns the key is immune to the direct curse and wants to use Peter to protect himself. He threatens to continue activating the monkey, killing innocent people in the city. Until Almura, seeing the danger increase, Al tries to leave Peter at his ex-wife's house, which causes a fight. Peter accuses him of not caring, while Al tries to explain that he carries something terrible with him and doesn't want to pass it on to his son. At that moment, there is a loud knock on the door. She opens it and comes face to face with Rick, disguised as a police officer, pointing a gun at them, demanding that they accompany him. They arrive at Bill's house. Rick forces Peter to go in and get the doll, threatening to shoot A if he doesn't obey. Al begs his son to do it. What happens? Don't turn the key. Peter enters through the back door and comes across several traps, probably set by Bill, but manages to dodge them all with agility. Outside, he confronts Rick, who confesses that he is not a cop. Suddenly, they notice a huge wasp nest hanging dangerously above them inside the house. Peter finds Uncle Bill, who is talking to himself with the monkey. Bill shows the toy to Peter, saying that it was his favorite as a child. He claims that the monkey broke and begs Peter to fix it by turning the key. Peter hesitates, remembering his father's warning, but the pressure from his uncle is immense. He gives in and turns the key. The monkey wakes up in a frightening way and starts playing its drum frantically. Outside, the wasp nest falls. Rick, in a panic, accidentally shoots the nest and also breaks the window of the car where he and the wasps are. The wasps invade the car and brutally attack Rick, entering through his mouth, causing another horrible death. When he screams for his son, Bill hears his brother's voice and realizes that his plan to use Peter as a shield has failed again. Enraged, Bill grabs the monkey and tries to force it, playing to kill right there, but the sinister doll seems to gain its own strength and throws Bill away. At that moment, Rao enters through the back door and reunites with Peter. Bill recovers in time to see that the monkey has been activated again and is playing at an insane speed when the music stops. Bill looks out the window and sees the chaos. The monkey's curse has spread throughout the entire city. A devastating sequence of horrible accidents happens simultaneously, killing countless people. Then, the ceiling above Bill collapses and several corpses fall from the rubble along with the wreckage. Arrives at the scene and confronts Bill, furious with all the destruction caused. Bill, overcome by the revolt, confesses that he only wanted A to pay for the death of their mother. He accuses A of being responsible and knowing that she wanted him dead in place of her mother. Al gets emotional, crying, insists that she was also his mother and that he never wanted that to happen to her. He apologizes and says that they should have supported each other at the time, but that there is still time to fix the relationship. He recognizes the truth in his brother's words, and with a heavy heart, he also apologizes the brothers. Finally reconcile, overcoming years of pain and resentment, invites Bill to travel with him and Peter, and Bill accepts enthusiastically. But at the exact moment when a little hope appears, the monkey's arm, perhaps by a last spasm or evil intention, hits the drum. This activates a last trap hidden in the house. A bowling ball is fired and hits Bill's head dead on killing him instantly. The next morning, A and Peter leave the devastated city behind. As they drive down the road, they see the consequences of the massacre of the previous night. Hungry coins, twisted bodies, with a scene of total destruction. Determined to break the cycle of death, they decide to stay with the monkey, keeping him close at all times to ensure that no one ever turns the cursed key again. On the road, they come across an old man riding a horse carrying ashes on his back, a surreal and symbolic image. Soon after, a school bus full of excited cheerleaders passes by them, laughing and waving. A second later, a runaway truck appears in the opposite lane and violently collides with the bus, killing all the girls. The cycle apparently continues.